Hello and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, where we help dads navigate through life during and after divorce in order to create an amazing life for themselves and their children. My name is Jude Sandoval and I'm your host. Thanks for being with me today. Before we get started, just wanted to thank everybody. We've been having some fantastic traction with the Divorced Dadvocate podcast. We're in 13 countries now, 93 different cities and listeners, thousands of downloads, and it's only thanks to you. I really appreciate it, sharing with everybody that you're sharing with. The more that we get this out to the other divorced or divorcing fathers, the more information, the more people we're going to help. So I really, really appreciate it. I also wanted to remind everybody that this Saturday coming up at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time is our Divorced Dad meeting on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. The link is in the show notes below, so please feel free to show up. We have gentlemen showing up. We talk about all different issues that are coming up in each one of our lives and give each other some encouragement, but also potentially some helpful advice as well, and it's completely free. Just click on that link and sign up at the meetup, and you'll get the Zoom link to come and join. Also, last note was I still have the offer of a free initial consultation transformation session. A lot of gentlemen have been taking advantage of this. It is absolutely free. It just helps to get to talk to somebody if you're going through a challenging time. Some gentlemen I'd chat with once and we don't talk again. So and that's perfectly fine. Or they talk and then they come to the meetup and spend some time there. So please reach out if you're needing some assistance or just somebody to talk to, or really even just some advice maybe on what's going on. Please reach out. You can go do that at thedivorcedadvocate.com and then click on book a call, and it'll take you directly to my schedule, my linking or the link to my schedule, and it syncs right into my phone, and we can spend some time talking about what you've got going on. So please take advantage of all these opportunities and share these opportunities with any other divorced fathers that you think might be in need of that. So today, I wanted to talk about some more practical advice. I started this a little while ago, and periodically am just gonna go. It's not generally my nature to just be giving advice, as everybody's situations are different, and I always encourage people to work from what is in their heart and what are their needs. But I've been getting a lot of questions lately, and this is how I determine whether or not to do do one of the practical advice podcasts is if I see a recurring theme with any of the gentlemen that I'm working with. And one of them that I'm seeing lately is, how do I parent as a single dad? There's just, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're going from a household where you had pretty defined roles in how you and your ex may have been operating, and then all of a sudden now you're looking at 50-50 parenting time, or maybe even more than that, or maybe even less. But then you're responsible and needing to figure out how to handle everything all the time, and that can be unbelievably challenging with just one kid or three or however many you may have, and they don't come with an owner's manual. So it's just it can be a little bit testing, especially in the beginning. So I want to go through a few steps that would assist with figuring out how to create the environment. We're going to go through the steps, but create the environment, figure out what it is that you want, take action to doing that, strategize your steps and optimize your mindset around that, and then be able to establish that in your home. And I can tell you, after a little while, just like any new situation or skill that you might be learning, whether that's academic or work, this is the same thing. After a while, you'll become proficient at it. So if it's overwhelming right now and it's stressful for you right now, I completely empathize with that, and I appreciate that. I've gone through that. But after a while, tell you what, you're going to be like, man, Super Dad is what you should call me. So on that note, really the first step, the first thing that we need to think about in figuring this out of how to be a parent as a single dad is how we're going to take care of ourselves first. And I know that you hear me say this all of the time, and it's a constant reoccurring theme, but you've heard the old adage that you can't take care of somebody else if you're not taking care of yourself. And so we're not able to take care of our children if you do not have your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual self all in alignment. So what does this look like? It looks like that you are getting enough sleep every night. You're getting enough rest. You have, and I didn't have any idea how much impact being fatigued has on your everyday life. There's something that I can't exactly remember the study of what the percentages are, but it's somewhere up to 30+% less awareness of what's going on in your mind, just able to be paying attention to what's going on if you don't get the proper sleep every night. So that's pretty significant amount. So make sure that you're getting that sleep. Also, eating right, taking care of your diet, and making sure that you're getting exercise so that you're physically in the best possible condition you can be. And for those of you that have the small ones and you got to chase them all around, you know that you got to be even cardiovascularly fit to keep up with them. So make sure that you are getting the proper nutrition and the proper physical exercise. We're supposed to be exercising. Our bodies are made to exercise every single day. At least 30 minutes is what they do. And I know that can be hard. And you think, oh my gosh, really, where am I going to find 30 minutes in my day of work and kids and everything else? But make it a priority to do it, because it will be a basis and a foundation for how great you will feel mentally and emotionally. I guarantee that. So, the other is some sort of spiritual development or understanding or contemplative practice, just giving yourself the time to think and understand and feel what it is that you're going through. I've talked a lot about journaling. That's something that I finally, after years and years, have grasped, and it has helped me immensely. And I had so many people tell me about it. I read about it. I heard all of the benefits for it. And whatever reason, I had a block. Finally, the block is I've either broken through it or it went away or I lost it. I don't know what happened, but and it's helping immensely. The contemplative practice can be as simple as a 15-minute walk every single day, and that could tie into your physical wellness. The physical wellness could be as simple as a 30-minute walk every single day. There's huge benefits of that physically, but then also the mentally and spiritually. That can be your contemplative time to really think through things and clear your head. So number one, take care of yourself, fellas. And if you can expand upon that, however you feel, joining gyms, joining churches, having spiritual groups, going to spiritual meetings or men's meetings or whatever else that may be, expand it as much as you can and work towards ensuring that you are taking care of yourself first and foremost. And the last part of this is you will be setting the example for and being a model for what it is that your children should be doing for themselves as well, taking care of themselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, because they will and are going through many of the same things that we are throughout this process. So they see you taking care of yourself, they are going to learn and they're going to understand and learn that that is important for them to do as well. So it has a twofold impact on what's happening in and around your life. So, to some more specific tips around how do I parent as a single dad. Really, the first thing that you need to do is create the vision and idea of what you want your lifestyle to look like. And this was one thing that I didn't do off the bat. I didn't take the time to do this, and it was kind of haphazard without really having created that vision of what I wanted. And when I finally did come to it, I actually even wrote out a vision for what I want my parenting to be like. And we talked about this in the Dad's Guide to Divorce, and that was that I wanted to be a heart-centered, available father who was always present. And so that was the vision that I had created. I wanted to be first, I wanted to be available. I wanted to be available to my daughters all of the time. And the second part was, I wanted to be present. So we're going to 50-50 parenting time. I never in my wildest imagination thought that I would only be a parent 50% of the time. And I wanted to ensure that when I was with my daughters and when I did have my parenting time, that I was going to be present with them, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually there with them. And then I wanted to make sure that I was leading from and parenting from my heart. And that was, that's challenging sometimes when you got the phone ringing and the doorbell ringing and you're trying to cook dinner and you're got all kinds of other stuff going on, is to be really grounded, present, and in your heart space so that you can lead from that. And at least for me, sometimes that was very, very challenging. And so, I made a commitment to that being my vision and creating my vision of what I wanted my lifestyle, what I wanted our life to be and to look like. So that was really the first step around how I could be, how I can be a single dad, how I can parent as a single dad. And then from there, taking that vision and then strategizing your actions of how you're going to implement that vision. So you've created this, this great goal and vision around what you want your life and lifestyle to look like with your children, and then actually strategizing how you're going to do that. So for me, and what that might look like is I wanted to make sure that I was there for my daughters, like I said, available. So I wanted to be able to drop off my daughters to school every morning, and I wanted to be able to pick them up at the end of the day as well. So I didn't want them to have other people depending upon that. I wanted them to have the knowledge and the safety that the dad was going to be there, dropping it off, picking them up. The other part was that I was going to be there for different events throughout the school day if they had them, or after school and sports activities or extracurricular activities, that I would be showing up for those things, that I would be, I enjoy those. Those are immensely gratifying to me. So I really wanted to do that, and it was important for them. They liked when I was there. So I had to strategize how I was going to be able to do that. Also, being able to spend time with them on the weekends. So the weeks were very busy with school and work, and you get just a few hours in the evenings to be with them, and that's got homework and then cooking and then all the stuff you got to do outside of work. So I wanted to ensure that I mostly had weekends off in order to spend time and plan activities around that with them. And so, thinking about how you're going to strategize what it is that you want, and then making that happen. So how did I make that happen? I had to ensure that I was going to continue to be self-employed like I have been, to have the flexibility. Now, that was me, and that was my lifestyle, and that's the lifestyle that I chose. And so yours might be different, but again, looking at and determining what it is and how you want that to look is important. And so take the time to strategize then how you're going to implement that vision. It could be as simple as you want extra time to spend with the kids, so you're going to get a maid. You're going to spend the dollar amount every week, every week or every other week or whatever time frame you have somebody clean the house, and spend that money on the maid in order to have the time, being available to your children to be able to do that. So there's all kinds of little examples similar to that I could share, but I think you get the point of strategizing how you're going to implement that vision. So the next thing would be then learning some skills. So our situations change, and we're now handling everything all the time, right? So like I said, maybe you had some clearly defined roles in your relationship with your ex, and now you're needing to handle all of those roles as a father. So that is more that couldn't be more obvious to me with two teenage and one pre-teen daughter at the moment. So handling the roles of in and around all of that at this moment is abundantly clear that I'm a dad, and I am a guy, and I'm a male, and I have three blossoming young ladies. So going back to learn, or identifying places in which you need to learn skills in order to be an efficient, effective, and a great single dad is a good thing. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I am needing, just like if you were professionally needing to upgrade your skills or learn something new in order to stay relevant or competitive in your workplace, same thing applies as a father. And so one of the things that I did, because these kids don't come with a manual, right, is I went to parenting classes. Now, I had done some parenting classes with my ex, but it was just a complete different mindset now that I am a single father, right? And so I went back to parenting classes to learn a system for effectively parenting. And having that system, I got to say, was probably one of the most crucial and beneficial things that I did as a father, in learning to have something and a way in which we approach all of our interactions as a family was really helpful, because it gave consistency to my children. It gave me a tool or tools in order to be able to approach every and any situation and feel comfortable and confident that I've got a handle on it. And the particular parenting philosophy that I gravitated toward was called love and logic. And it's based upon having empathy for your children and the challenges that they're going through, and also focusing on their behaviors and choices, and allowing them to understand that their behaviors and their choices shape and mold their lives. And it's that you are shaping or molding their lives. You're just there as somebody that's experiencing it with them and guiding them. So it was really absolutely phenomenal, and still is something that I work with them every single day. So that's called Love and Logic, and I'll put that in the show notes below as well, with all the other information, and you can check that out. It could also be something as simple as learning to cook, right? I had a gentleman this week that said, man, I got to figure out how to prepare the food, the baby food for my little one. I've not ever done this, and now I'm responsible for the time that my little one is with me. And so that's okay. Take a cooking class, or get with somebody that knows how to cook, or get online. That's the beauty about these days, is we can pretty much find everything and anything we want on YouTube or online and do some sort of tutorial. So the option of having or the option of finding something for free and some information is there if we want to take the initiative and find it. So, don't be embarrassed by this. I had to do it. I talk to men every week that have had to do it to upgrade and learn new skills in order to do that. And again, it can be sharing this with your kids. It could be a fun thing. And we did this for a while too, which was like, what did we try new that we failed at this week? And so, some of that time was, and I can think of one example that was fantastic. And I was an okay cook already when I got divorced, but I had just a terrible, terrible dinner failure one time. And my daughters always still just and I just laugh about it because it was just so incredibly disgusting what I made that like they took bites of it and then they said, "Oh, this is awful, Dad." And I said, "Oh, come on, it can't be that bad, right?" Pretty confident at this point in my skills. And it was just horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So there's no embarrassment in that. It is okay because, look, we're learning new things, and that's a good thing for them to see us learning new things. It also opens that opportunity to have discussion with them about learning new things and failing, and that's okay, and that you can try again. So all of these things can be very good opportunities to have great discussions with the kids, and then allow them to see you modeling this for them in your life that's going to translate into their lives. The next one is optimizing your environment. So once you do get your own space, wherever you might be in that process with your divorce or post-divorce, that finding that environment in that space and creating it in how you would like that to be with you and your children. One of the things I learned in one of my parenting classes was a really cool idea, and that was creating like a little, they called it kind of like an altar, but we had like a silver tray that we kind of put stuff on that was meaningful and important to our lives and who we were. And it had some gemstones on it, and had a candle that we'd light and some other things. And we put it in a prominent place. It was on our kitchen table for a while as a centerpiece. Now it sits in our entryway, and it's just kind of a reminder for the kids that they're back at Dad's here now, and this is the environment that we've created here as a family, that you've created as a single dad, and it makes it comfortable and safe for them to be there. So create that environment. Again, it's going to go to the visioning. Look and think about what the vision is that you want to create as an environment around your house, and then implement it. So one of the other things that we did was we created a family crest. We designed and created a family crest, and then I got it framed, and it hangs up on the wall with that we can see prominently, and it just displays and demonstrates all the different. Actually, I've got a little necklace of it too, and it just displays and that's not the one. Displays, for those of you that are listening, I'm just showing my necklace, but it just has symbolism around what we value as a family. So it's another good reminder. And some of this stuff is just subconscious for the kids, that they don't even recognize that this is happening, but you've created this environment for them. So incredibly important as well. And then the last one, and I feel like this last one this was the most challenging for me, and I find it the most challenging for most men that I talk about, is just getting, really just getting your head around and your mind around just that you are a single dad now. And this is, mastering your psychology around this is the situation that you're in now. And for me, that was incredibly challenging. I never thought that I would be parenting 50 times. I had this grand vision and idea and plans for what my life would be with my wife and our family and how this was going to look. And then all of a sudden it's not there. And so really trying to get in an mental and emotional state and really get comfortable in understanding in being okay with the fact that you are parenting as a single dad, that you can do this, and that your children are resilient, and they are going to come out on the back end of this in a very good place. And I can say that I know that a lot of you that are listening now are right in the middle of it, and it's difficult and it's challenging and it's chaotic and it's hard to see that. But I see so many men and so many children and single dads that have come out on the back end of this. And I can speak personally as well with the children, that they are resilient, and there are even actually lessons that they can learn through this that they would never otherwise learn without having gone through this process and with this challenge, with this challenging situation. And I know that's a completely different reframe, but if you can reframe your mindset around that and master the psychology around being comfortable with this. And again, this is where I recommend always, if you have the means to talk with a therapist, get into therapy and talk with somebody. It's incredibly beneficial. Or get with a coach that's going to talk with you about figuring out how to do some of this stuff. Or at the very least, join a men's group or a support group that can help you to work through some of this stuff, because it is very, very beneficial for you to get that mindset created. So those are the steps. Let me briefly restate those. The first is taking care of yourself. Absolutely, positively. You cannot take care of somebody else if you're not taking care of yourself. Create that vision is the next one of what it is that you want as a family, as a father, in your world and in your environment, in your family with your children. And then figure out how you're going to implement that, strategize those actions on doing that, and then learn the skills necessary if you need to implement those different actions, and then optimize the environment, create the environment around that that's conducive to the family and the vision that you want. And then lastly, getting comfortable with and coming to terms with being a single father. You can do it. I know that you can. It is an amazing experience. It has been an amazing experience with my daughters. I do recognize now that this has been a blessing for us, because we have learned and we have worked through and we have grown as a family more than we ever could have without having this challenge. And so we talk about it all the time. My daughters and I, we embrace the challenges that we have in life in general, and we've reframed our mindset around why is this happening, as opposed to, or instead, what am I supposed to learn from what is happening? And so it can happen, and some of these steps will help you. If you have questions, again, like I said at the start of the show, please feel free to reach out to me at thedivorcedadvocate.com and click on book a call. Let's spend a little bit of time. We can talk about something specific that you're having a challenge with around the kids, or we can talk about something general. We can talk about anything that you want. Also, jump on the Divorced Dads meeting this Saturday. The links are below for both of those. And if you found value, again, we're growing exponentially. These last, I think we're on 30 some now podcasts. We're starting to grow. Please share this. Please like. Please comment. And another thing that I'd ask you to do is share this with your divorce attorneys. I've been getting some divorce attorneys that have been encouraging men to come and listen to the show and also get onto our Divorced Dads group. And I think that's fantastic advice. And it's at least the advice that they can give you for the amount of money that they're charging you outside of the legal advice that they're giving you. So thanks for listening today. I appreciate the fact that you're tuning in and you're working towards creating a better life for yourself and your children. Talk to you next week.